Hello, Cool family, like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on everything about Barcelona. In this video, we have 3 very important updates about our beloved club. Let's start with the first one. Barcelona is preparing to make a masterstroke in the transfer market. While others obsess over established names or inflate exorbitant figures, we, with our unique vision, focus on talent that is truly worth it, talent that fits our DNA. And in this relentless pursuit of perfection, one name resonates strongly in the camp offices: Adam Wharton. This young footballer from Crystal Palace, one of the great revelations of the Premier League, has slipped onto the wish lists of several major European clubs, including our eternal rivals from the capital, who, in their desperation to renew their midfield, have also set their sights on him. But make no mistake, the gem has a much more glorious destination. At just 21 years old, Wharton has impressed with his maturity and presence in the demanding English league, which has not gone unnoticed by our sports management. He has undoubtedly been one of the great revelations of the season in England. His rise has been meteoric, and his performances have clearly shown that we are dealing with a generational talent. What fascinates me most about Wharton, and what makes him so attractive for our Barcelona, is his astonishing ability to distribute the game with exquisite precision, his tactical awareness that seems to be that of a veteran, and his boundless energy in the double pivot. All these qualities have transformed him into a fundamental pillar for Crystal Palace, a team that plays at the highest level in one of the toughest leagues in the world. Wharton has not only proven to be reliable in the present, a guarantee in every match, but his constant evolution undoubtedly projects him as one of the most promising talents, if not the most promising, in British football. He is the type of player I am convinced is made to triumph at the Camp Nou, where his talent will be elevated to its maximum power. While at Valdebebas, they have closely followed his progress with that obsession for English talent that sometimes clouds their judgment. The transfer is complicated for them due to Crystal Palace's high economic demands. The English club, with all the reason in the world, does not envisage his departure for less than €65 million, a figure which, although significant, far exceeds his current market value, estimated at around €45 million. The intention of the Eagles is clear: to retain one of their most precious players, their most cherished diamond, or at least to get the best possible economic return in case of a sale. It's the law of the market, and in England, they know how to exploit their young stars. And that's where Barcelona comes in with our cunning and powers of persuasion. Real Madrid, for the moment, is not willing to reach that amount, or at least that's what the whispers say, showing their usual prudence when it's not a media-friendly Galactico transfer. This is precisely what gives us an advantage. With several other elite clubs also eyeing the midfielder with the same eagerness, the next moves in the market could be decisive. Think about what Wharton would bring to our midfield. Not only is he a player with a promising future, but he is also a footballer for the present. His maturity in distributing the game in the Premier League, a league with a frenetic pace, is astonishing. His vision to find the pass between the lines, his ability to recover balls with elegance, and his tireless energy in pressing would make him an invaluable asset for our midfield. He is the type of modern pivot who dominates the area, initiates play with discernment, and at the same time, is a defensive wall, an impeccable stopper. He could be the perfect complement to our squad, bringing that freshness and dynamism that Hansi Flick values so much to keep us at the top and restore the identity we miss so much. The €65 million, although high, pale in comparison when considering Wharton's projection and the impact he could have on Barcelona over the next 10 or 12 years. We are talking about a player who could be a pillar of our midfield, a successor to legends, someone who will mark an era. Is it too much to ask for €65 million for a footballer of this caliber, when the market is inflated and even higher sums are paid for players of lesser quality? For us, it's not an expense, it's an investment. The arrival of Hansi Flick on Barcelona's bench has brought an injection of energy and, above all, a clarification of objectives. Our new coach has a very clear idea of the profile of player he needs to build a winning team, a team that dominates through possession but is lethal in pressing, in recovery after loss, and in offensive transition. And in midfield, the figure of a midfielder with good ball distribution, imposing in the tackle, with great anticipation skills and game vision to filter decisive passes, is fundamental. Wharton meets all these requirements. Flick has given the green light to his incorporation, and this, dear Kuhl, is the best of signs. He knows that Wharton is not just a bet for the future, but an immediate solution who can bring a lot from day one, fitting like a glove into his tactical scheme. Barcelona has always been characterized by its long-term vision, by its ability to stay ahead of others in acquiring generational talents. Transfers like those we have made in the past, based on the Cruyffist DNA, have been the key to our domination. And Adam Wharton fits perfectly into this strategy. Not only would he be a reinforcement for the present, but he would also be the guarantee that our midfield would continue to be the best in Europe for many years, without the need for Galactico transfers that do not always fit our scheme. His youth, talent, and maturity make him the perfect link to ensure the continuity of our reign, the one that hurts so much on the other side of the peninsula. So, as Barcelona prepares to take a step that will resonate across the continent, the excitement is at its peak in the county city. Dear Cule, supporters of our beloved Barcelona, I want to ask you, who carry this badge in your soul, what do you think about the possible incorporation of Adam Wharton into our midfield? Don't you think his maturity, game vision, and energy are worth the economic effort, especially when we know that others are not willing to reach this figure for such pure talent? Don't you think this is the type of investment that ensures our midfield dominance for the next decade and sets us apart from those who only know how to buy names at a golden price? Or do you consider that there are better alternatives, or that the price is excessive even for our smart strategy? For me, the answer is clear. Wharton is a luxury that Barcelona must afford. The second piece of news concerns an important decision in our club. Barcelona is strategically positioning itself in the market, demonstrating that our vision for the future goes beyond the urgencies of the present. While others get lost in Galactico transfers that don't fit or in media-friendly transfers without tactical sense, we, with the intelligence that characterizes us, are preparing the ground for any scenario. And in Turin, the situation of Dusan Vlahovic has taken an unexpected turn, opening a window of opportunity that Barcelona cannot and should not let pass. The Serbian striker, once a big bet for Juventus, could be living his final months as a Bianconero player, a clear sign that sometimes big investments do not bear fruit without a solid project behind them. Juventus, a club going through a phase of economic and sporting adjustments that remind others who only know how to spend without rhyme or reason, has decided not to put obstacles in the way of a possible exit for the Balkan striker if a convincing offer arrives. The decision is largely due to the player's high salary, which has become a significant burden on the team's accounts. Although Vlahovic has shown glimpses of his talent, his performance has not fully justified the investment made, and within the Bianconero management, the feeling is growing that now is the right time to recover part of that investment. For us, this is music to our ears. A striker of his caliber, with room for improvement and the possibility of leaving an unfavorable environment, is a gem that Barcelona cannot let slip away. Vlahovic has suitors of the highest level in all the world's leagues, confirming his status as a top-level striker. According to reports from La Gazzetta dello Sport, in Serie A, clubs are closely following his situation, while from the Premier League, Manchester United and Newcastle have already inquired. These teams, like some from the capital, spend without measure. Added to these is Fenerbahce, which, with Jose Mourinho at the helm, dreams of making a splash in the market, seeking the prominence they lack in their leagues. Juventus will listen to proposals and will not oppose any that meet their economic expectations. The Vecchia Signora sporting project in reconstruction needs fresh air, and Vlahovic, with a guaranteed market, could become one of the big sales of the next transfer window. His time at Allianz Stadium seems to be coming to an end, and that's where Barcelona must act with the cunning that characterizes us. This is where the vision of our coach, Hansi Flick, comes into play. It is true that we have a world-class striker with a goal-scoring ability that few possess. Football is dynamic and situations change. The possible departure of Robert Lewandowski, if he confirms his decision to seek new horizons, would open a gap in our attack that Dusan Vlahovic could fill perfectly. Flick is looking for a number 9 who not only guarantees goals but also has a presence in the box, the ability to make runs, and is a reference in high pressing. Vlahovic, with his imposing physique and technical quality, fits this profile perfectly. He is not just a finisher, he is a complete striker, capable of holding up central defenders, participating in the build-up of play, and creating spaces for wingers and midfielders. Imagine an attack with the speed and unpredictability of our young talents on the wings and a number 9 like Vlahovic in the center, drawing defenses and finishing actions. It would be an explosive combination that would make us even more unpredictable and lethal. While others settle for what they have or for transfers that do not fit their identity, Barcelona always seeks excellence and the best option for our style. The arrival of Vlahovic, if the situation arises, would not be a simple replacement but an evolution, a bet on a young but already proven striker with the potential to become one of the best in the world under Flick's tutelage and in an environment that will maximize his potential, not in other clubs where strikers wither without a clear system. Vlahovic's situation at Juventus, with his high salary and the Italian clubs need to sell, places us in an advantageous position. Unlike others who have to spend astronomical sums on any player, Barcelona can negotiate from a position of strength, offering an attractive sporting project and the possibility for the player to relaunch his career in a world-class club with a playing philosophy that will make him shine. We know we cannot compete in the petrodollar war that some wage, but our powers of persuasion, our history, and our way of understanding football are far more valuable assets. The possible departure of Lewandowski would not be a problem but an opportunity to incorporate a striker who fits the age, profile, and potential sought by Barcelona. Vlahovic, with his hunger for goals and desire to triumph in a big club, would find at Camp Nou the perfect scenario to demonstrate his full value. And what better way to do it than with the shirt of our club, making it clear who the true giant of football is. Vlahovic's situation is a clear example of the difference between a club with a solid project and a clear identity and others that move by impulses or desperation. Juventus recruited him as a big bet but failed to make the most of him. Something similar happens to them with their big transfers that end up being wasted or with unsustainable salaries. The possibility of Vlahovic wearing the Blaugrana shirt is a reflection that Barcelona continues to be a top-level destination for the best talents in the world. Despite the economic challenges, our attractiveness is unshakable, and if we also deprive the eternal rival of the possibility of recruiting a striker they would undoubtedly also have on their wish list, all the better. The pain of others, when due to our intelligence, is sweet. As a Kuhl, I could not be more excited about this possibility. Seeing Dusan Vlahovic defend our colors and score goals at Camp would be confirmation that Barcelona always finds a way to reinvent itself and stay in the elite. He is the type of striker we need for the coming years, a natural goal-scorer with a privileged physique and a winning mentality. His arrival, if the situation arises, would send a clear message to the world: Barcelona continues to aspire to everything. Thus, with Barcelona attentive to the movements in Turin, the excitement is at its peak in the county city. The possible arrival of Dusan Vlahovic, in case of the departure of our current striker, would be a boost to Flick's project and a demonstration that our ability to adapt and find solutions is unmatched. The third piece of news is a huge thunderclap at Barcelona. Barcelona remains steadfast in its vision, building the future with intelligence and without succumbing to fleeting temptations. While some obsess over the past and transfers that seek only media impact, we, with the clear direction of Hansi Flick, are betting on coherence and the DNA that makes us unique. And it is precisely in this context that a piece of news has emerged, which for some might have been a surprise, but for those who understand the essence of our club, it only confirms the solidity of our project. Luka Jovic's stint at AC Milan has come to an end. The Italian club wisely decided not to renew the Serbian striker's contract, which expires on June 30th, and all indications are that his destination will be far from the European continent starting July 1st. The former Real Madrid player, what irony, will be free to negotiate with any team after 2 seasons at San Siro and a modest total of 13 goals. The Milan management opted not to activate the contract extension option, despite the brief resurgence he experienced upon Stefano Pioli's arrival on the bench last winter. Jovic's overall performance has been far, very far from the expectations generated at the time, especially when he was considered a promising talent. In the last season, he scored only 4 goals in 17 appearances, all in the second half of the season, after overcoming a long dry spell. For me, this is the story of a striker who never managed to establish himself, not even in leagues that do not have the same demands as ours. And this is where the cunning and clarity of our Barcelona come into play. According to our sources close to the club, the opportunity to recruit Jovic as a free agent was indeed offered to Barcelona. Yes, as you read, his name circulated in the offices of the sports management, presented as a market opportunity due to his free agent status. However, our flamboyant coach, Hansi Flick, did not hesitate for a moment to block the operation, a firm and sure decision that demonstrates his commitment to the club's philosophy and the type of striker we truly need. While others are dazzled by the names of footballers who, for a brief stint in the capital, believe they can relaunch their careers, Flick looks further ahead. He seeks excellence, adaptation to our game, and coherence in building the squad. And Jovic, with all due respect, does not fit into this vision. According to reports from the newspaper Marca, at 28 years old and after playing in top leagues such as the Spanish, Portuguese, German, and Italian without leaving a significant mark in any, the Serbian striker now finds himself at a new crossroads. From Italy, it is reported that his most concrete options would be across the Atlantic, with Cruz Azul from Mexico and Botafogo from Brazil as the main interested parties. For me, This is confirmation that his current level is not for the European elite. A player who has not managed to establish himself in any of the major scenarios of the old continent will hardly be able to provide what Barcelona needs to continue competing at the highest level. Milan, for its part, is beginning a new phase in its offensive line without counting on a Jovic who never managed to establish himself as a key player. The Serbian, free from any contractual ties, will have the opportunity to reinvent himself, yes, but far from the old continent and especially far from the pressure and demands of a club like Barcelona. And while some settle for what is available or market opportunities that only hide poor performance, we aspire to perfection. Hansi Flick's decision is a clear message of authority and coherence. Our coach knows that Barcelona cannot afford to recruit players who do not bring real value to the team, neither economically nor sportingly. It is not about filling the squad for the sake of it or succumbing to the temptation of a free player who, deep down, does not fit our system. Flick is looking for a number 9 who is a reference in the attack, who has the ability to link up, press, and, of course, score goals. And although Jovic has an imposing physique, his recent history does not support the investment, even minimal, nor the sporting risk that his arrival would entail. This decision is also a slap in the face with a white glove to those who criticize us for our economic situation. We demonstrate that despite the financial challenges, we are selective, intelligent, and prioritize quality and tactical coherence above any opportunity that may arise. We will not squander resources or bring in players who have already shown they are not up to the standards of a giant like Real Madrid, let alone our demands. While others scramble to find a striker and have to settle for the discards of others, we are clear about the profile we want. And here, I cannot help but throw a healthy provocation, of course, to our friends from the capital. While they, with their history of failed and overvalued transfers, seem desperate for any player who can offer them a minimum return, Barcelona demonstrates vision and leadership. Jovic was once one of their big bets, a multi-million transfer that ended in a resounding failure. Now, the fact that his name was offered to Barcelona and our coach categorically rejected it is irrefutable proof that our management is superior, that we do not fall into the same traps, and that our ambition is different, to build a cohesive and winning team, not a collection of meaningless stickers. Let them continue to look for solutions in the past, we are looking to the future. Let them continue to lament their mistakes in the market. We celebrate the authority of a coach who knows what he wants and protects the essence of our game. Barcelona is not a dumping ground for directionless players, it is an elite club that seeks excellence. As a Cule, this news fills me with pride. It shows that our club has learned from past mistakes, that the management and technical staff are aligned with a common vision, and that we will not stray from our path. We do not need experiments or rescues of players who have not worked elsewhere, especially if those places are on the other side of the airbridge. Dear Cule, supporters of our beloved Barcelona, I want to ask you, who carry this badge in your soul and feel the philosophy of Cruyff, what do you think of Hansi Flick's decision to block the possible recruitment of Luka Jovic, even if he was offered as a free agent? Don't you think that this demonstration of authority and coherence is fundamental for our project, avoiding the temptation of players who do not adapt to our DNA? Doesn't it excite you to see a coach who has such a clear path to follow and who does not deviate from the principles that make us great, even if it means letting go of bargains that others would exploit? Leave us your opinion in the comments.